Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. So we're getting something done on the STI tonight. This is something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, but I just didn't have time to get it done. If you guys saw my video on doing the sound deadening in the trunk with KilMat, you guys know where this video is going. What sound deadening actually does, it cuts down on road noise, it helps with the stereo system. It overall just makes the interior a quieter place and often a more enjoyable place to drive. Now, the STI in general is a pretty raw, loud sounding car. You hear a lot of the noises. You hear all the different workings of the motor and the transmission. You hear a lot of road noise, and that's part of the experience. Now, I'm not trying to drown it out completely, but it is nice to have a little bit of refinement, especially in a car like this that I have modified the way I do right now. Just kind of cutting down a little bit of the road noise and just making it a more enjoyable experience when you're kind of just cruising on the road. I'll put the video in the top right corner for you guys, but I did the bottom trunk, the whole entire area. I also did on the actual trunk lid, took off the card, the little insert, did some behind that. I also did it on the upper part of the trunk here. So this is all sorted out and covered. Really, really nice. But what I want to do tonight is actually start working on the interior. Now, I would show you the trunk of what I've done already, but it's completely covered. You can't even see it. Everything is covered by the OEM mats and all the covers and everything, so you literally can't see anything. But like I said, you can go back and check the video to see just how much I did. I don't like to go crazy with it, just to get the main areas, just to help a little bit. So I'm following suit with the same thing on the interior. A lot of people have said that doing the actual rear seat is a good thing to do. That really helps cut down on the actual road noise on the interior. The reason why I haven't done it any sooner is because I always had car seats in the back. And just taking the car seats out and then, having to do it, it was just extra work that I didn't want to do. But now that the car seats are in the truck full time, I have full access back here now. It's really easy to get to. So I figured I would knock it out. Now, this is a really simple thing to do. To remove the rear bench, there's literally just clips under this side and that side that you pull and it comes right out. So it's really simple. So I'm just going to basically cover the lower bench area and then we'll see how it turns out. Now, I may venture on doing the door cards eventually, just to see if it helps a little bit. But keep in mind, adding sound deadening or KilMat or Dynamat, whichever you're using, it does add weight to the car. It's not really heavy. Obviously, it depends on how much you use, but it does add weight. Now, for a street car like this, where I'm not really focused on weight, it's not really that big of a deal. Plus, with the weight I've lost with all the modifications I've done over time, like the wheels and the brakes and everything like that, I've lost quite a few pounds. Adding a little bit of sound deadening is not going to hurt anybody. Plus, like I said, on the street, you're not going to notice it. If your car is a full race car and you're going for a lightweight and, a track car or something like that, obviously you're not going to be doing sound deadening. You're looking to reduce the weight as much as possible. So obviously this is not for you, but for the other 99.9% of people that don't track their cars, this kind of pertains to you, so you don't have to worry about it. But let's go ahead. I'm going to show you the product. I actually have a bunch left over from when I did the trunk, and then we can get going on the install. The brand that I use is called KilMat. It's really, really nice. I really enjoyed this stuff. It does take a little bit of time to install it. It's not hard. It's just time consuming, just rolling it out. That's the hardest part. Actually placing it down and getting where you need it is very, very simple. It literally has an adhesive side back here, and you just stick it to wherever you need it. And then you just got to roll it out. And the main focus here is, see all these little bumps? You want to make it completely flat. Now, it does take some work to really work all those little bumps down, but the more you do it and the flatter the surface, the easier it is to kind of install it correctly. Now, if you just smack it in there and don't roll it out, it's not going to work. What they actually said is the only way that it actually functions the way it's supposed to is actually if you roll it out and get all these bumps out. So the flatter you get it, the better it's going to work. So as you can see, I have a decent amount left. I did my entire trunk, the actual trunk lid, as well as the upper part of the trunk, and I have all this left over. This whole box is, I think, 36 square feet. Yeah, it's 80 millimeters and 36 square feet. So you get a decent amount. I could probably do this entire car with all the door cards and everything for this. I believe it was around 50, 60 bucks for this box. It's not very expensive at all, and you'll get a lot of bang for your buck. Obviously, there's another brand called Dynamat, which is a little bit more expensive. I believe the product is a little bit thicker. That is why it's a little bit better. So it depends on what you're going for, but I'm more than happy with the KilMat that I did in the trunk, so I definitely recommend it. So the tools that you're going to need are very, very simple. You're just going to need some type of roller. This is what I used on the trunk. And then I was also using some pick tools as well to help kind of flatten it out. I believe I was using this one just to kind of push down some of the little bubbles, the little bumps here. It was helping a lot, especially on the angles and curves. But for the rear over here, it's pretty flat. It's a pretty flat surface, so there's not a lot of bumps and crevices and anything like that, just like the trunk was. So it shouldn't really be that hard. Let's go ahead. Let's get started on this. I'm going to take the little bench out. I'll show you exactly how I do it once I pop it out. But it's simple, as I mentioned. There's just two little clips on either side, and you pull it right out. And anybody that has replaced a fuel pump, you know exactly what I'm talking about because the fuel pump is right here on the passenger side. Very, very easy access. I'll show you where it is when I take it out as well. As you can see, these back seats are brand new. Nobody's ever sat in them. There's been car seats in here the whole entire time. And as you can see, there's no dents or anything like that. I used car seat protectors that have been in there for years. And it, still looks brand new. It literally looks like nobody has ever sat here. All right, so a little closer look as to how to remove it. You can see these little clips right here. You literally just reach under and pull it. So kind of just pull it like that and it releases. It's just on either side and then it sits just fine. So as you can see, here's a fuel pump if anybody's interested. That's where you go if you ever need to replace it or you need to fix it or whatever. That is where you go. There's not too much area. There's already some stock sound deadening here, but it's nothing crazy. If you go around, kind of bang on some areas, you can hear some of the echo that the sound deadening, the KilMat, will definitely help. I'm not going to be able to use full sheets because there's not a big enough area to really just lay it flat. So I'm gonna go ahead, do the bigger areas first, then kind of trim out some pieces just to get the smaller sections around here. Make sure the surface is clean before you put it down, because if you don't, obviously it's not gonna stick that great. And plus you're gonna have dirt stuck under there forever. So make sure the area is clean. I'm gonna go ahead and vacuum this up real quick. There's really not much. And I'm just gonna wipe it down real quick and we should be good to go. So let's get it prepped and ready to go. All right, so we are good to go. Everything is wiped down, everything is clean. You could obviously go a step further and remove the back seats, the backings here of the back seat, but I'm not gonna do that. Not a big deal. There's obviously not much that goes up there. So I'm just gonna try to work my way and get as much as I can up in that area. But I'm gonna start on this hump right here and then kind of work my way down. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lay all the KilMat down where I wanna put it, and then we can go ahead and roll it out and get it installed properly. So I'm just gonna put a time lapse on of me actually just placing the KilMat down. Then after that, I'll jump back in, explain where I put everything and why, and then we can go ahead and roll it out. Alrighty, so we got the KilMat down. So as you can see, I don't cover every single little thing. You can go nuts with it and literally cover every single, piece in blue that you see. But I just like to put it in the main areas, the larger areas. That's just gonna help tone it down a little bit and give it a little bit more solid feel. Now, I didn't roll it out or anything like that. I just placed it in the areas where I felt that it needed it. Now there is the stock sound deadening here. I don't wanna place it on top because I didn't know how well it was gonna stick to it. So I just wanted to stick to the metal pieces. I kind of worked my way up there a little bit and all on the sides here. I could put one, actually I'm gonna put one right here. But otherwise, you don't wanna get into too tough of a spot because you're not gonna be able to roll it out. So if you're getting under here, you're not gonna be able to roll it out properly. So just be careful with that. Just get it in areas where you're able to reach. I'll show you over here real quick. Same kind of situation. I just stuck it in the areas where I felt that was gonna help. Obviously, you wanna be careful with these little caps here for the fuel pump and over there as well. You don't want to lay the KilMat or whatever you're using straight over that because you're not gonna be able to remove it. So I just put it on the cap a little bit. Before I was tapping on here, it sounded very hollow, obviously, because it's a big hole where the fuel pump sits. But it definitely, I can even tell already that it's cutting down on the sound, which is great. So now comes the not so fun part. And rolling all of this out. Luckily, it's not as much as the trunk. The trunk was a major pain in the butt and you really had nowhere to work. So you had to get your whole body in there. If you guys watch that video, you'll see just how you got to kind of contort yourself to get into the tighter areas. But we're in the comfort of the interior and I got my hood light up there. So I got some nice bright light in there. It's great and it's comfortable. So it's not gonna be as bad. So I think we're gonna get this done fairly quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a quick time lapse on it so you guys can see me roll everything out, and then we can wrap this up. This back area here took 2.5 sheets or so. So really not that bad. I forget how many I used in the trunk. I think it was probably about 5 or 6. So it really goes a long way. I still have so much. I can't even tell you how many sheets I have left. I don't know, probably like 20 sheets. So definitely plenty more to do. I can do the entire door cards if I wanted to, and I probably can do the headliner if I really wanted to go that far. Trying my best not to do that because I really don't feel like taking the headliner out. That is no fun. Also, you can do the rear deck lid as well, which I'm thinking about doing because that is an area that is known for rattles and stuff. So we will see. I'm not sure if I want to go that route because it's a pain in the butt to get that thing out, getting the seats out and everything, but we'll see. Another video, another day. Let's just focus on here, get this rolled out, and then we can wrap the video up. Oh man, I forgot how much of a workout that is, and that really isn't that much. But it's probably about 45 minutes to an hour later just to do this, to roll it out. Obviously, there's some sections that I couldn't get perfectly flat just because of the angle and everything. And the roller that I have, it works, but you know, it's harder to get into tighter places. But if you can see, I rolled it as flat as I could. This is right here is basically what it should look like all around. But in these sections, you know, I was working on it for a long time and using the roller everywhere I could. And that's just as flat as I was able to get it. When it's on a beveled edge here, it's much easier to roll it out flat just because you can get a lot of pressure on it, and it ends up rolling flat. But yeah, there we go. Everything is rolled out. Everything is good. Now all I gotta do is just throw the back seat on and we'll be good. I do plan on driving the car soon, so I'll give you a little bit of an update once I do that, to see if this really made that big of a difference. I don't really expect it making that big of a difference, but it definitely should add to the overall feel and overall sound of the interior noises once it's all done. Like I said, I think I'm gonna jump on the door cards another night and really work on that, just to help with the overall sound system. And plus, I mean, the doors, Subaru doors in general, they're pretty light. There's not a lot to them. But I will say on the V8 chassis, it is definitely a much beefier and heavier door compared to the previous models. On my previous 2013 WRX, I had the hatchback. So anytime I closed the door or opened it, it felt like I was opening a tuna can. There's really nothing to it. These have a little bit more, so there's a little bit more refinement in here. So it's not as bad. So again, I probably won't add as much on the door cards, just a few pieces here and there. I have a ton left over, so I'll be able to do that no problem. But we'll see where this takes us. I'm really happy with the overall quality and just how it works, especially with the trunk. It did really cut down on the overall interior cabin noise, especially in the rear. And so I'm curious how much more this is gonna work once I get more on the interior and the door cards and kind of move up front a little bit. But I highly suggest it. I'll leave a link below if you guys are interested in picking it up along with the roller so you can get the job done. All right, seat is back in. There's just 2 hooks on the back on either side, and there's 2 little metal brackets. You slide that in, then push it down. Obviously, you got to pull the seatbelt receptacles through. Super simple. Everything just lines perfectly right back up. The KilMat didn't get in the way or anything. You just also want to make sure you're not putting KilMat over the little clips, because obviously it won't go in correctly, but it's in. We're good to go. And we are fully sound deadening, KilMatted on the rear bench here. So I'm interested to see how much this actually helps. It really should start cutting down on the interior noise. Again, I'm not really looking to totally take everything out because part of the experience about with this car is the overall, you know, just noise level and the raw experience. I really do like hearing all the transmission noises and everything going on. Very mechanical, and overall it just increases the overall fun of driving this car. So, but yeah, guys, that's all I got for this one. I'm really happy I got that done. That has been sitting on my shoulders for quite a while now. We'll definitely do the door cards soon. Like I said, I have plenty left. So I'm really anticipating getting that done. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I definitely would like to use what I have and what I paid for and just see if it helps on the overall interior cabin and just make it a more enjoyable experience and quiet things down a little bit. I freaking love this car. I love the way it looks. Every single time I take that cover off, it surprises me how awesome this thing is. And I'm really looking forward to driving it. It's been 2 months, believe it or not. I stored it on November 23rd. So we're coming up on 2 months here, 8 weeks. It has been a long time, and I really, really do miss this thing, but the weather has been pretty terrible. There's brine and salt on the roads, and obviously I'm on summer tires, and it's been like 17 degrees So definitely not optimal driving conditions for summer tires. And for a car like this that I cherish so much. I know Subarus are great in the snow. Everybody always tells me to go out and drive it in the winter, but I love this thing. And I'm not worried about the capabilities of this car. I'm more worried about others ruining it for me, which I always say. So that is why this thing is stored in the garage for winter. So that is all I got for you guys. If you have any questions at all about the KilMat or anything else on the STI, be sure to leave it in the comments below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.